Welcome back. The Conway Wampus Cats pregame show continues. It's brought to you by Conway Regional Health System. Time now for the roundtable discussion. Before we get into the Cabot game, the homecoming game in a few minutes, let's take a look back at North Little Rock. I had the pleasure of being at the North Little Rock game as I was on what we like to call camera 2. And so I got a chance to see this team really play by play every moment. I normally just am paying attention to the show that we put on, but to get a chance to watch the team play, they're a fun group. They've got some thrilling players, not the least of which is the guy that wears 0. He did it again this week with a pick 6 touchdown, and just he's turning out to be as good as advertised.
Yeah, we just kept waiting, right? We just kept waiting for a moment, and then, the floodgates would open, and that's what's happened. So, I mean, you go back 2 weeks, the home game with Southwest, had the kickoff return for a touchdown, the punt return. He had an interception in that game, his first of the year, and then he gets this pick 6 at North Little Rock. And it was extra fun because when they started that drive so far deep in their own territory, I was like, man, this feels familiar. I've seen this before. Because 2 years ago, Jacoby Wade had done the exact same thing. And then it happened, and it was glorious. Yeah, it was glorious.
They played well. I thought that it was one of those games where Conway seemed in control. Once that happened, once Boogie got the pick 6, from that point on, it seemed like we were in control. They had one moment defensively where they the zone got busted and they scored, but they didn't get close really after that. So a really good, solid performance offensively and defensively, I thought, from the Wampus Cats. It was kind of a boring game, if you want to call it that, for a 31-7 win at North Little Rock. I'll take one of those boring games every time I go to North Little Rock. Thank you very much.
Yeah, boring wins are just fine. We talk about Tay Boogie Lockett a lot on defense, and we've mentioned Ryder Cook the last several weeks as well. But who else? Who else do we need to talk about on the offensive side and the defensive side of the football that they're never get a chance to really just talk about them in these arenas? So each of you pick one, offense and defense.
I'll talk about offensively. I mean, obviously there's lots of candidates, right? But I think we got to give a lot of props to this offensive line because they've had to literally carry the load with this change at quarterback. There's been way more pressure on them now, having to totally change how explosive the offense is. It's all on this offensive line to make it happen. No matter who's back there, we know the big hitters like Isaiah Bowman, Kingston Jackson. These are guys that are going to play at the next level. But I mean, Navan Richardson, Tyrin Ware has been playing great. Major James, of course, has been playing great. And then there's been guys coming off the bench in spots like Isaiah Wapakichi has had to come in. Josh Vinces as well. I mean, I'm just proud of these guys because there is losing a quarterback like Wesley Tapp could be devastating, obviously, and it's been hard, but it's been less difficult because you have a reliable offensive line and that you can shift the way you're going to be scoring points, when something like that happens.
For the defensive side, I would say Lawrence Wagner is a guy that has really kind of come on and using his size and strength. He's a different kind of player. When he walks out there, you go, all right, who's 98? Let's talk about that guy. So he's really contained his edge really well. I think he's grown throughout the season, gotten better as we go along. He was kind of a little bit of a project, but now he's really playing like a leader on the defensive line. And I'll caveat all of this defensive discussion with also, I'd like to throw out Coach Trent Ellis. I think he's done a great job of really kind of taking a brand new set of players. 10 out of the 11 are new starters, and really kind of continuing to mold and shape and bring those guys along. They're playing better defensively now, and that's the hope. That was the hope that as we started this process, that they didn't look very good to be at the beginning of the season, but they're looking better and better, not allowing a whole lot of points over the last few weeks, and so that's pretty exciting.
Improvement each week on both sides of the ball in all three areas. You want to see that obviously in special teams as well. Let's talk tonight's game. Longtime rival, Cabot Panthers are in town. I talked about it on the scene setter prior to tonight's game that this was the matchup. Our very first game we ever did in September of 2001 was Cabot and Conway. So it's fun to have them back in town tonight, of course. Let's talk about a Cabot team that is not had the season that they wanted, but they're close to having the season that they wanted, right?
Yeah, I mean, we you're going to hear this from Coach tonight as well. They've had a really hard schedule, and who knows if we played their schedule, who knows what our record would look like. I mean, it could be just as rough. I don't know, but and they also have kind of a similar story to what we're dealing with, where they essentially right now only have one quarterback. And so, they're trying to get their backup back in the mix. So that has really affected what they're trying to do on offense, because they can't just go all out, because if their quarterback gets hurt, then they're in some real big trouble. And that's what we've been dealing with the last few weeks as well. So it's hard to really know. The record isn't a great indicator, is what I would say. I mean, it may turn out to be a great indicator. We've got 5 more games to really see, but I don't know if it's the best indicator of what kind of football team they are. They got big kids, man. They always have big guys on the offensive and defensive lines. They've got some speed. So, don't just look at their record and come into homecoming tonight thinking, this is going to be an easy one. We can't afford not to play well against anyone on our schedule, and that is especially true for a rival like Cabot.
They're big, to Levi's point. They're very physical. This is the same kind of Cabot team that you've seen and gotten used to over the years. They're very physical. Do they have some expertise in some areas? Maybe not, especially on the defensive side. They've struggled defensively at times and given up a lot of points again at times. But to Levi's point, they can score. They've got guys on the offensive side that are fast and can go. Defensively, they struggled a little bit, but they're a little bit like us. They're trying to figure it out. They played really well for a half or so against Little Rock Christian, and then it got away from them late, some mistakes, and the game just kind of got away from them. But make no mistake about it, they're coming to Conway. This is a Cabot team coming to Conway, and you can expect their very best. Coach Reed knows exactly what he's doing, and so he'll have his guys lined up. It's going to be a war tonight.